Sergio Studios. Extra.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sergio Dominguez with another art look through one of my more recent cartoons that I've just made, Juan Perez 2! Anyway, let's get started. So this notebook was a notebook I got in like this really cheap store back in 2009, and I used that notebook to storyboard a couple of things, but ultimately the first Juan Perez, and I just held on to the notebook for the longest time until around this time, obviously. I ended up going back and just creating a story for Juan Perez 2. So yeah, that's how this notebook got into this, and I started like thinking about this cartoon officially in September 3rd of 2020, and I finished it around this time. Yeah, I think I did a little bit of a touch-up, but officially, I made it official on the 7th of 2021, so a little over 10 months, but I was doing other things and going back and forth on it until I did have time, and that's how we got to this. So let me open this. Here we go, and that's when I thought of the outline for, this is an outline and story for what Juan Perez 2 could be, because I wanted to be completely different from the first one. Even though I wanted to also have Easter eggs of the previous one. But I was like, okay. We talked about our lives and our future, and Juan wanted to be a cryptid zoologist. So I decided to turn that into a cartoon. And Juan, I told him about this. Juan, my good friend of 15 years and counting. And he liked the idea, and that's where I went off from there. That's in the outline here, and drawing some concept sketches. And I just had all these images in my head to work with. Of this rocket, because I was trying to design a rocket where he could keep the cryptid, and he would go on this planet where the cryptid is. So that was a cartoon about Juan being a cryptid zoologist and finding one cryptid out there and trying to capture it. Early designs of the cryptid character. Also, I do want to do a callback where I'm like, "Hey Juan! Congratulations again." But then I would get stomped. Be like, "Hey! Hey! Hey! Ow! Ooh!" So that was the plan on that one. So here are the storyboards for Juan Perez 2. And when I was out setting up the story, I would do it by myself, and other times I would video chat my friend Juan to like execute the storyboard. I would draw some of these storyboards while video chatting Juan while he's seeing it in real time. There was a time when I did the first short, all the way back in 2010, where he visited, and we would look at the story and try to complete it there. But you know, it was 2020. We had some problems, so we used a video chat and those kinds of ways to really put this cartoon together. So here it is done in pen with this, I want to bring this up, but these squares, these storyboard squares were used with this. I took some, these flat popsicle sticks and some hot glue and just made a square and just made like a nice storyboard stencil. And that's how I did that. And I would just storyboard what I could think of, the beginning. There is no dialogue, but there is a script. I didn't print out the script because it was all done digitally, and when I finished the script, I just sent it to Juan, so I actually don't have a copy of the script with me. But it was just simple dialogue, and some of the lines are here. And you can check out the cartoon if you haven't already. So these pencil X's is when I get started in production, and whenever I animate a shot, I'll go like, okay, it's animated, I approve it, so X to say that it's done. So these are just like little check marks in the form of an X saying what I've done. The ones that I didn't do, that means I didn't do. But like this is supposed to be a front view of the rocket coming in. So that's why it looks like that. Almost there. When I storyboard and doodle, I want to do it comfortably, and this is a very nice notebook to storyboard doodles and get the story out. here and here. Obviously, this planet doesn't look finalized from the other planet, but yeah, a lot of what I've imagined in these little sketches, these little doodles into the more completed-ish animation, I guess. Alright. There's going to be a point where it gets a lot out of order at some point, because this isn't what I'm showing you. Even though it's all page order, the story's not in order. There are moments where me and Juan went back and forth in certain parts of the story, and I remember there was one time where I hit a writer's block, but Juan came in and said we should do this scene, but we'll get to that. So this is the rocket falling down storyboarded. I did delete the part where it was also going to crumble, because I realized it still needs to be in good condition by the end of the cartoon to go back, and I don't want to fix it or anything. So this was never officially. It just comically lands on it. Now this one, I didn't know what that was, but I know it was supposed to be like a detecting thing, but I didn't know. I didn't want to draw that, and it wasn't needed when you saw the final cartoon. I don't know what that is. Detecting. Well, it looks like a detecting device. I don't know. He walks around, checks around. This didn't make it. Where it was gonna be a front view. I did make a front view actually of this cryptid character, but it was difficult to animate and set that up. So I was like, by the time I was looking at it through editing, I didn't need this shot. So of Juan looking at it face to face, and Juan walking up, and Juan walking on the spine. So that too. Yeah, that wasn't needed. There we go. This is where it's out of order. You know, after this thing, you would see me going, Juan, congratulate you on your show again. Well, this is concept, actually. I think I reboarded this. Yeah, this was reboarded. Because later on you'll see this again, but a little bit more refined, because obviously I don't get stepped on. But, yeah, this is where it gets out of order. Another concept art. That's a callback to the first one that didn't make it to it. And there we go. Here it is, reboarded. I know it looks a lot cruder, but this is when Juan came in and was like, how about have the cryptid in love with you? And I'm like, okay, let me reboard this. And that became the finalized part. And this is the scene later on. So this is where it gets out of order. I cut out the uh-oh part. That's not needed. I want to be a little bit more gullible and out of it when I get there. Oh yeah, this is a name concept of what the cryptid is going to be, but I think we just called it the cryptid. There we go. That's out because I ended up designing a completely different machine to make the cryptid go to sleep. And yeah. The cryptid didn't. Oh no, that shot didn't yawn. Earlier it did. There we go. There's the yawn. So I didn't make it. The end credits. This is out of order, but here's another part that's out of order. End credits. The after credits scene. I think I came up with it when Juan told me about what earlier in the story the cryptid falls in love with me, so it makes a little hybrid creature. That's funny. I like that. There you go. It lands on me. But you see like close-up of it. Another funny scene. This is like closer to the ending of it. This isn't the type of crush I associated you with. I think Juan came up with that line. Juan, you had a good run. 2 episodes in 10 years. That's actually not bad. Yeah, I shortened it because I think in the first one it was long. Me being like, oh, I've been tortured so much. Long sequence. Bye, Juan. See you later. Yep. And there we go. After doing the ending thing, I had to go back and fill in some gaps. So there's some gaps being filled in. There should be 3 weapons in this short, which there is. Again, front view, but I couldn't really fully animate the character front view. Tail and turn, giving it some direction. Look at this wonderful masterpiece. Obviously, you can tell that's Juan getting up. This would end up being one whole shot, like the whole tail swoop and then getting hit, then falling over. That was no storyboard, like separate shots, but it was all one shot. Alright, I think I completed the story and I had a couple pages left. So I just like doodled some extra concept art. Juan Perez 2, yeah, some nice concept art and almost like post art. Early designs of the cryptid creature. Also, I like that split thing. Juan Perez 1, Juan Perez 2. You'll see more of that later on in this art look through. Juan Perez 2! The sequel everybody's been looking forward. And there you go. I finally finished this notebook after like 11 years. So when I got to doing that, that's when I brought out this sketchbook. And I drew more concept art and production art officially for the cartoon. Once it's boarded and scripted and recordings were in, kind of. So, yeah. Preparation and... yeah, you're going to see some official production art along with some more concept art for Juan Perez 2. And here's this one. I really imagine Juan like holding on to the wheel and be like, come on, we can do this. Juan Perez 2. Started the sketchbook February 12, 2021 and finished it August 3rd, 2021. The official Juan Perez art that you've seen titled in the cartoon. It's drawn and scanned into Toon Boom. Oh, we got to forget. We can't forget. We can't forget the 2. The 2, because it is the number 5,000. The rocket ship. Yeah, I do like the rocket ship design. Juan thought it looked like something else, but I had to design it where, you know, there's a front part where Juan goes in and he goes out, and a place where the cryptid goes, like a little garage area. So if that's the case, where's the thing to blast the rocket? So I put that separately. Later on, just copy and paste. Here's this one front view, and that's how it looks in this stage. Then later when I take it to Toon Boom, I rig it and set it up and give it texture, and it becomes more of a rocket. This is the planet where Juan goes to find the cryptid. Rough drawings of what the surface of this area would be. There would be no clouds. This is pieces of inside the front area of the rocket. Juan holding onto this. The dashboard, the window, this knob lever thingy. Here we go, the cryptid. This is a cryptid. Now you see, this is a leg. This one is also a leg. But you see, it only has one on one side because when I go to rig it, I just take this, cut this out, copy and paste it to make it all 4 legs, you know, because everything else is its own unique thing. But with this, just copy it, duplicate it. So that's why it looks like that. You know, I can draw this digitally either in Photoshop or through Toon Boom through my Cintiq, but there's just some kind of look it gives because the scanning and Toon Boom just give you the extra texture that you don't really see even up close of this. So that's why I did a lot of marker on sketchbook drawing paper skin into Toon Boom method for this cartoon. It gives a really nice rough look. Here's some weapons. The lullaby, the blankie, and this whistling thing. You know, 3 weapons, so here they are. This was like maybe when I finished the storyboards, but I didn't get any recordings yet because I want to get everything done, prepared before I get to animation. So I did have to look at the storyboards and see what do I need to draw. And, you know, here's Planet Earth, animated Planet Earth. Here's a concept of what Juan would look like getting hit in the tail by the cryptid. That looks nice. You'll see a lot of titles of Juan Perez 2 concept. Like this one. Juan Perez 2, Juan versus the cryptid. That's right. With this, since he's going to be like this cryptid hunter character, I did redesign what Juan would look like in terms of what he's going to wear. Backpack, this metal looking suit, like those knee pad thingies. I thought that'd be funny. Alright, here's also what we're going to get through. What you're seeing here is obviously design, but this was the texture that was going to be used in Juan Perez 2, and you're going to see a couple more texture designs. I just took color pencils, colors that I like, and just drew it out, stippled a little bit, and just until it looked like some kind of texture. Same thing with this, nice and scribbly. That was going to be some other part. And this one too. And let's see, what's the next one? Oh, this one too. This one was too simplified. I think I cut this out. But ultimately, I cut a lot of these out. These didn't make it to the final cut. And I think I mentioned this in the commentary, but I don't mention it again. Ah, that's a nice one. That's a nice texture. Yeah, some nice textures. Unfortunately, they didn't make it. There was more texture. I think there was a silver one that we get to. Hold on. No. So yeah, the thing about these textures, especially, is that Toon Boom can't handle so many textures in one scene, or it would crash. So there was going to be so much texture, even in Juan Perez clothes and stuff. But ultimately, it was just the planet, one part of the cryptid, and the rocket. That's as much as I can do. So a lot of these didn't make it. Now there was a silver one and one other texture that would be the cryptid and the rocket, and that's it. And the surface of the thing. So it was unfortunate, but it was a fun try, and it was lessons learned. I just realized about the texture tool in Toon Boom. Some stars. If you saw the stars, they're some pretty cool looking stars. Juan Perez 2! This was a layout because there was a part where Juan presses the buttons by just wiping it, the left side of the buttons. So, and I want it to be floppy, so I just like made some thumbnail drawings of what the hand would look like flopping around before I hand drew it animated digitally. So if you saw that shot, that's how I was trying to figure out how to break that down. Alright, Cryptid Planet. This is like the surface, some of the elements. Some trees and a stump, I guess. Rough drawings of the cryptid. Another concept of Juan going, with the tail and stuff. Yeah, I thought that would be the funniest gag, so you'll see. Oh, and what would look like that in a couple of frames when it gets hit by the tree, you know? There it is. concept of that. And here we go. This is the official drawing of Juan going, tail is a different element. And there you go. That's Juan. And to make it more interesting, I did copy and paste the same frame, smooth out the outlines through the smooth tool in Toon Boom, and cycled it so it would be more wiggly. There was a point where I was like, okay, the cryptid needs to turn the head around, and I couldn't do the whole body, so I could only do the head. So that's why it looks like that. The animation, a little bit of an animation breakdown of the head turning and reacting. That is the tongue when the cryptid licks my face. It goes there to just hitting it in the face. That one I just straight up drew. I didn't do it over pencil and stuff because it was just a zigzag tongue. This one's funny. Some cryptid drool, saliva droplets, and me going, getting licked by a cryptid. It's not pleasant even as a cartoon. This one's cute. Cryptid yawning. There's a point where I was like, oh man, I need the back part of the ship, so I drew that real quick. That was a little bit too far out than the other one, so I did move it back when I took it to Toon Boom. If you saw the storyboards, I had myself flat differently, but when I animated myself getting crushed, it was like top down. So I was like, oh, let me just quickly draw myself like crushed flat. See how that looks, and it looks funny. The mouth was a different kind of mouth that was in Toon Boom. That was a callback to the first one. So that's what that was about with no mouth over here. It's an egg. A cryptid egg. Cryptid egg. Oh, this one's a funny gag. The ribbon and this. Very cute. Here's another thing. When I was going to design the ending of what I look like mixed with a cryptid, I drew the head, but I was like, oh, I'll just use the body from the cryptid and just put in a hand and a toe. But when I got to it, I realized, that had too many pieces to it. It won't look babyish. It won't have enough of my elements. So there's a point where I designed it, and I ended up designing the other half, ultimately, and just put the head and the body together. I made a mistake here, but, cut it out in Toon Boom. Send the neck a little bit more. So that's why it's like that. My child's head and my child's body. And my wonderful reaction knowing that I'm a father of a second child. This is a callback. I've done that little mouth reaction before, but I want to combine it with another mouth reaction, so that's what it looks like that. With some eye veins and hair popping all over. And I think a little bit outwards. So that's the look of that. And I think this is the actual, this is the last production drawing for Juan Perez too. But I still have a lot of sketchbook paper left, so I try to make use of that. So we'll get to it. So shortly after that, animation production, I did have to look at my production notes, look over the edited cartoon at that moment and realize there were a lot of mistakes, a lot of things I need to retime, and some things to fix. So there are some notes, add echo to the intro, cut the title a little bit earlier, hold on to a little bit longer hold on the nighttime shot, speed up the rocket a little bit more. So there were notes after looking at the complete cartoon as it is and just making some editing production changes. That's how that was going to be like. And then this is me crossing the out like done, 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 fixed, good. Then I would listen to the sound effects. Like, what sound effects do I need to make? Because I already have a nice library of sound effects that I've made. And this is a list of sound effects I don't have. more buttons pushing, and especially the keypad clicking, toys clicking, and I have some like toys and devices to make random noises out of. I do have a slide whistle for that moment. Slurping tongue, tape stuff. So that was like new sound effect recordings list. Alright, I think we're just getting to the fun concept art at this point. Like closing concept art. Officially announcing Juan Perez 2 on the 10/14/2021. Yeah, that's the same thing, but differently. And this is what you're gonna get, just random like fun pencil sketches, just so I can complete the sketchbook. Yeah, this is for the Juan Perez 2 animatic, which you can also check out. You can see those storyboard panels a lot better, but not all of them because they didn't get to be finalized in Juan Perez 2 animatic. I do like that dual thing. That's why I did it a couple more times. Then I just got a marker and doodled some more. More different ways to show the Juan Perez 2 title. Shadow the Cryptid, Little Juan right here, the title, the environment. Oh, I thought of a funny gag where I'm like, alright Juan, you're yourself, honey a cryptid, and action! Yeah. 'I just realized I got the Roman numeral wrong. It's 2, not 3. Not yet. Yeah. "10 years ago, he got a spin-off and lost it. Now, he's gonna get the spin-off again. Juan Perez 2, coming soon." And it's here as of this recording, probably. I just love drawing and sketching this out and doodling real quick. Alright, second to last page, everybody. And there we go. Juan Perez 2 has officially wrapped production. Thank you and have an animated day, which of course it is. Oh, wow. This was a crazy journey. This was a crazy journey with this one, but I had a lot of fun. And I hope you did too, looking through this wonderful artwork. Well, that's all for this nice art look through of Juan Perez 2, one of my Sergio Studios cartoons. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. I hope you saw the first two Juan Perez cartoons and liked it and see what has changed, what has improved, and I hope you just overall liked it, and and hope you like this. Thank you very much for watching. Questions, comments down below. Follow me on my social media, and again, thank you. I am Sergio Dominguez saying, have an animated day.